Good afternoon, everybody. Wall Street Jesus here, post game show. Every Tuesday, post market, we get together, open the forum up to everybody, talk about a little bit of what we're seeing early in the week. It's always good to take stock, maybe help come up with or tinker with the game plan for the rest of the week. Big week this week. We're waiting on Apple earnings, which should be out in about 15 minutes. We're in the heart of earnings season. We got the Fed we got to deal with tomorrow. Tariffs, you name it, it's out there right now. And you can kind of sense, at least, I mean, I'm seeing definitely signs that the retail crowd is starting to get really, really frustrated. And this market had to do that eventually. We've been talking about that. A lot of you guys who are in the room, we talk about it constantly, or even on the Saturday webinar. Last year, because of how bullish the market was, you had a lot of riffraff money just getting a little too crazy out there, okay? And that doesn't last forever. And what this market eventually does is they'll give you a little bit of a taste. But before it's all said and done, they're going to hit you over the head and take back everything and then some. And a lot of traders think is that there's just bullish or bearish. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes a lot of the newer traders, what they focus on is, okay, if things aren't going up, then I'm going to try to make money betting on downside. And what happens is, and we're seeing it right now, I mean, it's perfect evidence of it. We're seeing the market make mashed potatoes out of the retail money on both sides, okay? Because the retail money, we know they're not overly bullish by no means right now, okay? It's actually the total opposite. What happens is you get 2 days consecutively of selling, and all of a sudden, the average investor, the retail mind goes to, okay, things are going to fall apart. Where the normal price fluctuation, the normal trading of the market is that, stocks just don't go up. Stocks go both up and down. It's not up or down. You know what I mean? It's not one direction, then it's going in another direction, then it goes, stocks can go up and down throughout the same environment and nothing changes. But because last year was such a bullish year where it seemed like every single day the market went higher, soon as the crowd out there started to realize that maybe we got something different here this year, they automatically think they can go out there and short this thing. And they're going to learn a costly lesson. A lesson that I learned early on in my career, a lesson that I didn't even really need to lose money. I'm being dead honest with you. It wasn't a costly lesson for me because I had a lot of guinea pigs around me. I had a lot of, at the time, people who manage money, professional traders, get wrecked on the short side. Client money, their money, you name it. And fortunately, I didn't have anything substantial to lose at the time. So I was lucky. Okay. But early on in my career, it put a real stain on the short side of this market to the point where I never even tried to look to take advantage of it. Okay. And we had this discussion, you guys, we had this discussion, several times. I get that question a lot. Why don't I short, blah, blah, blah. And it's more about than me just trying to get a profitable trade on the short side. I don't even want to crack the seal. You understand? I don't even want to make money on the short side because then you get a little taste. And us degenerates, you give us a little taste, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. So, and that's the problem, isn't it? Isn't that the problem? The problem is not that you're going to lose money shorting all the time. If it was that easy, we would learn early on not to short and case closed, right? That would be the best case scenario. But this devil of a market, what it does, it gives you a little taste. Here you go, buddy. You want a short? We'll give you some money. Go ahead, short again. We'll give you a little money. You think you're good at it now? You want to go for the big one? Here you go. Go for the big one, and it lumps you up. All right. And we're starting, we're seeing that. And I don't know, for some reason, I'm getting that feeling. Maybe it's the time of year. Maybe we're heading into the summer, and because of the chop, people just aren't as excited about stocks as they were last year. That could be it. But just I'm seeing that lack of interest. And ultimately, I think that's a good thing. And if you're new to the game, whether you're new or not is irrelevant, but I think this is a better environment to learn about your style, learn about yourself emotionally, learn about your trading strategy. This is so much of a better time to really dive into that stuff as opposed to last year. Last year, all that stuff meant nothing. I'd have traders come up to me. They're like, "Oh, Jesus, you'd be proud of me. This is my first profitable year." And, I felt bad saying it. I would feel bad saying it, but the truth of the matter was, yeah, you had a profitable year. So did everybody and their grandmother last year. It really doesn't tell you much about your strategy and how efficient it is, basing it off the best year on the bullish side for stocks. So I think you learn more about your style, your strategy, how you're wired emotionally, your strengths, your weaknesses in times like this. And not only that, you end up building something that when you get back into this environment, okay, which it's going to happen again. Okay, this is normal. This is normal stuff, guys. Okay, this type of environment. When it happens again, you know what you need to do to at least survive. All right, and I know a lot of traders. Okay, that trade professionally, but again, client money, their own money. That's their main objective in these times, in this type of climate, is to just survive, make a little money, lose a little money, and then that trend that comes out of it is where the bulk of their money is going to be made, depending on the time frame. So in other words, in simple English, what I mean by that is you get days like we've had here. Like if you look at what's been going on here, let me clean up this chart so I can show you guys what we're talking about here, okay? Let me go to daily. All right, so you can see when you're in front of the screen, and I know a lot of you guys are swing traders, and this is the toughest thing to avoid. When you're in front of the screen all day, okay, and you're swing trading or whatever style it may be, it doesn't matter. All these bars, all these candles are magnified 20-fold, okay? So this little lift here, right, doesn't look like much on the chart. This little 2-3 day lift here had people feel like, okay, the worst is over, the bottom's in, we're rallying to new highs type of thing. I kid you not. Some of you may be laughing at this, but that was the sentiment out there. That's how bullish things get after a 3-day move, in an environment where you don't really see any trend. All right. And then, you could sense it today. We had, this rally failed. You had a down day, another down morning this morning. And, you could just get that feel within your bones that sentiment was building up to where people thought, okay, here comes another leg lower. This market's not looking good. The 200 days not too far. And that all may be the case, but it doesn't happen in straight lines. And as traders, we got to look to take advantage of that. That's our opportunity in this mess. Okay. All in all, look at what we've done here. Okay. Look at what we've done. From where things were extremely bearish on the sentiment side down here, we had a little bit of a rally, a little bit of a pause, not much, right? Not much. but sentiment has swung from extreme bearish, extreme bullish, and then was so close this morning, okay, was pretty close to getting back there. If we went into the afternoon, and if we went, into the lows mid-afternoon, we would have had bullish signals on the sentiment side. That's what we were looking at in the room. We were getting pretty close there. And again, you can feel it. Get shorts looking to short, right? Catch that move. And even if this market may be heading lower, you always get these type of squeezes. They're never going to make it easy. They're just never going to make it easy. All right. It is what it is. This is the environment we're in. Okay. And the playbook for my style, primarily as a swing trader or a day trader, I beat it like a dead horse, right? It sounds like a broken record. We talk about it constantly because it's the only playbook I know in this type of climate, is to look to buy weakness when sentiment is on your side and sell the squeezes and look to lock in, raise stops, or whatever the case may be. All right. So if you're day trading, that's pretty much the same philosophy as swing trading, just on a shorter term basis. All right. Until something changes, and what's going to change, and you got a lot of people showing you the charts of that pennant type formation, that where we're tightening up, or whatever term they like. And it's true. Those charts obviously are showing everything we're seeing right now. This doesn't stay like this forever. Eventually, what you're going to do is you're going to get some sort of trend that may last a little bit longer than what we've been seeing out of this. Okay. Who gives in first? Who gives in? Do the bulls capitulate? Do the bears capitulate? That all is going to come into play. And we're going to see that materialize, hopefully, as earnings, winds down here and we get the hell out of this mess. With all the quarterly reports coming out here, some of the big ones anyhow, hopefully by the end of this week we'll be done for. All right. Flow-wise, what are we seeing? We are seeing exactly what I guess you could say we expect to see when you're in this type of climate and in earnings season at the same time. It's a mess. It's a mess. And, another thing, this is something we were talking about in the room a lot over the past week. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. When I see flow mixed and sloppy and not making a whole lot of sense, not a lot of clarity out there, okay, that's a signal in itself. Okay, that's a signal in itself, and a strong signal at that, because that's telling you that there's not a ton of momentum out there. Okay, that translate into choppy price action. So for me, my interpretation is not to do much when I see the flow like that. Okay, for me as a day trader, I'm looking for those pockets on an intraday basis where the flow may be bearish, for a good hour or so, and that flow, flips to bullish, and I'm looking for a long entry there. We saw a little bit of it today, early morning. There was some, if I remember correctly, there was some selling in the market early morning. There was some decent call sweeper activity, decent. I wouldn't say anything extravagant, but some decent call sweeper activity in the morning. Had some juice, names like Microsoft, some of the tech stuff. And then, quickly fizzled out like we've been seeing, most of the morning action, and then we go dead for a while. And then there was some opportunities in the afternoon, and believe it or not, it was some quality activity that we were seeing. So that's, again, a good sign that maybe as earnings winds down here and as this consolidation winds down, we'll start to see that true rotation, some good-looking order flow out there. A couple names, and I could take questions on it if you guys like. One sweep I really liked was this TER. And, at the same time, we got to understand where every single order we've been seeing is tied to earnings. Okay, so when we see a half decent looking call sweeper that is not tied to earnings, we kind of make it a big deal these days. You know, so I don't want to give the wrong impression like it's the best order I've ever seen in my life type thing, but it's clean. You know, it's clean action, worth, without a doubt, a day trade, worth a shot on a day trade, worth a shot on a swing trade basis if you got sentiment on your side, you know, that type of thing. So we had an order in this TER size sweeper. They have hit this thing over the head and then some. You could see beaten down here, right? We're looking for that sweeper to change the climate here a little bit, right? I'm looking at it. That's not the word I was looking for, but, you know, change the tone a little bit. Where things go bearish to bullish, you get some sort of little short squeeze here, and, you know, you can sell into that rip. We got lucky with this thing. We got lucky where it had an intraday rip, which was pretty decent. So a lot of us locked it up intraday and don't even have to worry about any earnings exposure or something like that. You know, or sell partial positions and leave some behind, whatever, you know, whatever's your cup of tea. But again, a good looking sweeper into some weakness there. So I always get excited about that. Another one that kind of threw you around for a bit was this Caterpillar. Okay, you had big time selling in this thing, as well as some of the other Dow components, right? Right out of the gate, they beat the hell out of this thing. And then you had a decent looking May sweeper, right? Clean, opens a new position, decent size. So again, you're looking for a change in momentum, a change in tone, a change in complexion there. Had an okay initial reaction. I actually sold into that. Some of the guys in the room, guys and girls in the room, didn't. They were looking for something bigger, and they got it in the afternoon. Me, the piker, I wasn't in it for the afternoon run. But again, you know, just something. These are the type of things we're looking for. These are the type of things we're trying to stay disciplined and wait for in this type of climate. Okay, now let's say we're out of earnings season. Okay, and we get some sort of trend here, right? This is not a one-day thing where we see some bullish flow and then the next day the flow looks like a menagerie again. You know what I mean? Let's say there's some trend behind it. We're putting a couple of days, stringing a couple of days of decent action, right? We're out of earnings season. It's clean action. Then you can look at names like this, like the Caterpillar, the TER, and no doubt about it, they're swing worthy. You know, no doubt about it, they're swing worthy. Honestly, right now, in my opinion, if you're going to swing, they're swing worthy. They're swing worthy. The only thing I would add, I know a lot of you guys get frustrated when I do it, is you got to have an idea where the overall sentiment is, because you don't want to get caught in a wash. Okay, you don't want to get caught in the wash. Just quickly, what I've been seeing is a lot of people, they see, let's say, a decent buyer out in July. Okay, but if you're at sentiment, which is a little too hot, a little too bullish, you know the type of environment you're in. Even though it's a July call buyer, you know, it may bother you that you're underwater for a week or so. Okay, and you got an awful price, even if you're looking to add to it. So if you don't, you know, if the drawdown bothers you that much, if you're going to stop yourself out, which is a tough thing to do, you better have an idea where sentiment is at the time. You know, these are the things you have to focus on a day-to-day basis in this type of climate. I get it. It's tough. It's not as easy as throwing a dart and have the market go up every day. But that it is what it is. It is what it is. And you're not looking to swing for the fences here yet. You know, that's not something you're looking to do. You're looking to survive. You're looking to keep yourself entertained, busy. If you make a little bit of money out of the equation, that's fantastic. And you'll be involved at the early part of that trend change when it does come, and that's where you could get a little more aggressive. So that's the game plan there. What did Apple come out yet? Give me a heads up if you guys see Apple come out. Just curious. Doesn't matter till the up and away. Up, there you go. There you go. They did the job. They did the job. There you go, analyst. All your downgrades. All right, and here's the most difficult thing, guys. Okay, the most difficult thing in this environment is to avoid playing when everything's bright green like that. Listen, I'm the first one to admit it. I get it. You see things running all over the place. You want to own something. You feel like you're missing out. You can't be patient. The market doesn't go straight to, a setup for an entry. Let's say today, and it very easily can happen. Let's say today you were waiting for those bullish signals that we look at on a short-term basis, okay? We didn't get there. We got close, but we didn't get there. And now, let's say market gaps up tomorrow. You're going to be a little frustrated, but you cannot let that bother you. You cannot let that affect you as a trader in this environment. It's not worth it. Okay? Before you know it, the likelihood the market's going to be right back to where you were waiting for the setup in a couple of days. Chances are that's what's going to happen. But you got to avoid trying to chase these things when they're up and everybody wants them and everybody's feeling good about themselves. Everybody's bullish and forgetting all the things they were worrying about 2 days ago. You want to be a seller into this stuff. You want to be a seller. You want to look to buy when they're selling and they're panicking, and you want to be a seller into this stuff. All right. So yeah, here a couple names. I thought TER had a nice move. The PayPal, here's something interesting too that we've been seeing. I day traded this PayPal off May activity, but this PayPal caught two really good looking October sweeps down here. Okay. And they got some time behind it. Honestly, I haven't taken it for a swing yet. Something I'm considering doing. And today there was some action. May calls were active. Let me just pull it up here. Now the reason for that could be you have Square reporting at the bell tomorrow. Where's the May strike here? Here it is, right here. So you had some May call accumulation, came into weakness early morning, had a nice rip, then came back down into the red, was down a buck, and they started buying it again. And there was a real nice move on it, real nice move. It went from red to green. There was another nice trade later on in the day. All right. So, and here, if you guys are wondering, here's some of the size that was out there today. Pandora block, no interest. WFT, cheap ones. AMD block, no interest. Here's that TER bet that I was telling you guys about. WYNN caught some pretty decent sized September buyers. Some were sweepers in the WYNN, WYNN. I didn't play it. It was already up $3-4 at the time. I don't know where she closed. There was ABBV. There's been an uptick in action. Just want to give you guys a couple of names to look at because we had a little bit of flow today. So, that I get excited. AZN, AstraZeneca. This is moving already, though, but you had some nice buy come into this name over the past week. AstraZeneca. Oops. What am I forgetting? Caterpillar, PayPal, TER. Oh, Microsoft. They got busy here in Microsoft today. Microsoft was one of the first names they started sweeping early on into weakness. And then late afternoon again. You could see weeklies. These are the weekly 96 and a halves. They started off with the 94s. Maybe they were rolling some up. You had some July call activity further out and stuff like that. May monthlies. So this is a name too. When there's red, you see some sweeper activity. You're looking for that quick trade. Microsoft's always a candidate. That CRM, Salesforce. Yeah, Intel, good call, Noel. Intel had some action as well, INTC. So tech was showing strength, relative strength throughout the whole day, and some flow there as well. I want to stress again, nothing nothing dramatic. The TER order in particular was a good-looking order, but just it was decent flow compared to what we were seeing. This flow has been a poop show throughout this whole earnings process. Yeah, MGM. Noel's asking about MGM. MGM. Here's the scoop with MGM. MGM. There was a ton of May activity. I mean, they went bananas in May calls prior to earnings. Okay. After earnings, you had some weakness there. What they did is they rolled down strikes. Okay. In other words, because of the weakness, they came down lower in strikes, looking for a higher delta, looking for a bigger bang for their buck if and when it does move, and predominantly went out into August calls. Okay. So you got a ton of activity, big time size in MGM August calls right now. Some drifts and drafts and other things, May, June, and stuff like that. But I just want to stress, yeah, there's some decent time in these in this MGM play. Maybe something happens sooner. We see that from time to time. But if you're going to be on the same side, I think August is where you want to look if you're interested in this name. And it's interesting. I mean, the casino space as a whole has been one of the few bright spots out there. Okay, a lot of casino names catching some decent action even throughout this mess. Yeah, WYNN has been great. Off every sweeper, WYNN has been great. LVS has been a decent performer. Boyd, BYD, that MLCO they just bought yesterday. That gapped up today. They got earnings coming up too. The Macau numbers were solid. Yeah, you got that CZR, which always catches some size activity. So it's a little misleading, but without a doubt, bullish action there in CZR. Yeah, this is the daily. Today you had a little protection shorter term and a little call buying. That's earnings positioning. All right, so there's some stuff out there that starting to look interesting. If we get out of earnings season, trust me, for me myself, I'm gonna become a lot more aggressive when sentiment lines up and I see the flow I'm seeing now. Right now, earnings is just there's a big risk there. There's a big risk there. There's a big risk. If you need sentiment on your side, especially with earnings around, because if somebody else warns in the sector, it's something you got to look out for. Earnings is a total crapshoot. Even if you get the number right, who knows what the reaction is going to be. A lot of this stuff they factor in ahead of time anyhow. They were selling Apple like she was going to go bankrupt off this quarter, no? I mean, they were selling this Apple like this thing was going to claim Chapter 11 off this quarter. And then 2 days of squeeze action. There was some buying in Apple, into the number today. If you didn't have this little rip here in Apple, it might have been worth a shot. That's not it. Sorry, let me pull up Apple. You could see Apple, they were playing these strikes here, 170, 172 and a half, 175, 177 and a half. That's all weeklies, and there was some further out stuff. If you didn't have this lift, I'm not a earnings guy anyway, but it would have been risk reward wise, it would have been worth a shot coming off some selling like that. And yeah, so that's that. Anybody have any questions on any action they saw or more? Listen, one thing, whether you're a member or not, okay, one thing you're going to learn from me, it's this game is never easy, especially in these times, okay? And I can't stress the importance of having an idea of where the retail money is lined up. Okay? It just gives you a sense of emotion, and a lot of times your emotion is baked into that cake with it. All right? And it's not a coincidence that every time these guys line up bearish, 9.5 out of 10 times they get squeezed hard. It's not a coincidence. And if you're shorting out there, you guys have heard me. One thing you got to try to avoid, if anything you're going to take out of these webinars or that comes out of my mouth, do not short when there's retail money on that side. Yeah, it's tough to survive those squeezes. Ani's talking about the squeezometer. Yeah, the squeezometer, I didn't see where we closed, Ani, but the lowest we got down was into, I think it was the 30s, the mid 30s. So we almost got there. And then we closed, I think it was around neutral-ish. So we're back at neutral pretty much. I thought we were going to get there today, though. I really thought we were going to get there this morning. Like I said, you could just feel it. You could just feel it. And it would have been a nice setup for at least a snapback. But they jumped the gun. And that's okay. What are you going to do? And that's what I'm saying, so you guys understand. It doesn't have to be the say-all, be-all type thing, because here's what you got to understand. Like for me, for example, like when I see a sweep in the TER, like I did today, okay, and the squeezometer is under neutral, and what the squeezometers are a read on sentiment. So a lot of you guys out there probably saying, what the hell is he talking about, squeezometer? So if I got sentiment on my side, but it's not necessarily a bullish signal, and I see an order like the TER, I'm still gonna fire. You know what I mean? I'm still gonna fire. I'm saying that's the playbook. That's what you're looking for. That's the best trade out there, is when you have, the sentiment on your side. What you don't want to do, though, is you don't want to open new positions when retail money is on that side hot. Meaning, if the squeezometer is hot, right? If sentiment is bullish, you don't want to go nuts, start opening new positions into green there. That's suicide. If you're shorting, you don't want to short when you're getting close to a green squeezometer. Wait for them to get bullish again. And listen, I get it. I came into this game and I was kind of trained and taught the same way. I actually made a decent amount of money in my career early on playing the breakout, playing the breaks. But, they're tough. They're tough. You can't jump breaks here. Like, that's what shorts are doing. What I mean by that is, you're getting in here off 2 days of weakness thinking that whoop is going to come. That whoosh comes once out of how many times? All the other times, you're getting run over. So that's the main thing out of sentiment. That's what I would take out of sentiment. Let me get to a couple other questions. Oh, I just clicked on the thing there. You think Apple is enough to change the market sentiment? Noel, we could come in tomorrow morning, okay, and Apple's green and everything's lovely, and then they turn them red for all we know, right? Then what they just do that with? They just did that. Amazon. My opinion, I think that's what we were seeing today. I think a lot of the Apple move, the strength in tech, was sort of signaling that they overdid it on the downside there. But we'll see. We'll see. You know, that's why I don't like to get in the game of prediction, especially earnings season. Forget it. It's tough. It's tough. Did I miss anybody's question on this stuff? All right, so that's basically, and those of you who are members, a lot of you guys are members. That's kind of what I try to stress on a day-to-day basis. Okay, just wait to have sentiment on your side, whatever direction you're playing, and you look to dabble into some flow you like. Okay, I mean, you see CRM or Google up $2 into strength, and it's not a spot you should be chasing. Wait. Couple days will be down a buck and change. There'll be some weakness, and you'll have at least a better entry there and a better shot for a short-term trade in a market like this. All right, but other than that, I can't wait to get through this earnings week here, at least this week, and we should see flow clear up a lot. I know a lot of you guys on private Twitter, because you don't have the colors here. Where am I? Oh, on the right, the board. It's tough to get a gauge on the intraday. Oop, I just knocked that over. The intraday sentiment off the smart money. But again, that'll clear up too. I mean, right now it's just a mess. Here's what I'm referring to. Like, look at this. Red, green, red, green. When you see that type of action, you want to sit on your hands. I like to, look for stretches like this. And then, if a market hasn't really rallied yet, there's some weakness or some consolidation, that's where I would look to hop on a long somewhere, and then see where it takes me, raise stops. You had some UVXY put sweeper activity. That's always bullish. VXX, they were selling calls. So you had some bullish activity out there. A lot of earnings related. How about this LRCX? They do well in this thing too. They swept some weeklies yesterday, up 5 and change today, and tack on another 2 in the aftermarket. It's not a bad spot for a squeeze down there. See, I like these spots for a trade because a lot of times you just need that little rip, and they're big moves in this market. What else? Anybody else looking at any names, or I don't want to tie you guys up the afternoon. If anybody has any other names they saw today, or any action or anything like that. WHR, that's Whirlpool, right? WHR. Didn't we see lottos? Didn't we see some cheap lottos in this? Was this the one, Matt? Some out of the money cheapies? WHR. I'm almost positive. Hey, you got a lot of beaten down stuff. Out there. Energy cooled off a little. That got a little too hot. We need probably a little more of a breather there. I don't know if it's possible, but we'll see. This PXD has earnings coming up. Caught another bull bet, but not much of a pullback. You can see there. The USO, some action the last 2 days. Yesterday they were buying calls. The 10 cents, they bought like 130,000 of them. They actually went to 16 cents an hour later. So 60% move there. A lot of them stuck to open interest, though. It could be a play on that Netanyahu, Iran stuff going on. Gaming stocks. Yeah, the thing with the gaming stocks, Ani, is that you got the earnings in the way. Otherwise, I like them all. I like IGT. I like the flow, the action there. SGMS, I love that thing. That should be that I think has earnings any day now. No, I don't think they've come out yet. PENN had a big move off earnings. We've been seeing some a little profit taking in the Julys, but you had a big move there. I like the space. You just had earnings in the way. Otherwise, I really like the space. You know, gaming, gambling, that's been two areas where the flow has really stayed clean. Mr. William Struck is talking about Devon, beat and a raise. DVN. You got a couple guys holding some runners there. Up 90 cents off the number. Yeah, Devon really didn't move like the other ones yet. So maybe we should get loose off the earnings. A couple guys having runners. So let's see, where did the well, this is the total put the call. That's that shadow in the back. You see that red shadow in the back there? Where she ended up closing? A little bit of a lift. Yeah, they were getting panicky here. They were getting a little panicky. You see here spike, here spike. Look where they spike these things, right at the bottom. All right, guys, I don't want to keep you on too long anyway. I just, I figured I wanted to let you know a couple of the names that have been seeing some action. Don't chase, keep an eye on them, put them on a list. You see some weakness in coming days or some Trump tweet or whatever, you know, keep an eye, maybe they hit it again and you got something decent there. All right. Don't chase, wait for decent setups, let it come to you. That's the most important thing. All right, guys, be good. Wait, the casinos closed Monday, Yanni? The casinos closed Monday? I think the casinos closed Monday, right? What a disaster. No? Isn't it a holiday or something? Or maybe I misunderstood. Anybody know? Monday a holiday? Nobody knows? Maybe I'm wrong then. No? The hell were they talking about then? Oh, good. I thought we had a short week this week. I just heard it before. I can't keep track of these excuses. They're all excuses to close the market 24/7. Oh, Memorial Day is the next one? Is that what you're talking about? Memorial Day is the next one? Yeah, I know. Double check. I heard it. Maybe I heard it wrong. May 28th. Oh, we got time. We got time. All right, guys. Good luck the rest of the way. All right. Try to stay cool. Look to buy some weakness, sell some strength, and little by little we'll get out of this earnings stuff and hopefully things clear up. We can make some real money. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Have a good one. Be good.